I want to get your opinion real quick, and I know this wasn't a recent decision, but Avery Davis deciding to come back. I don't really think he had much of a choice to come back. I think before he got injured, he was probably going to leave, but with the injury not allowing him to test and do the combine and do all those different things, which I think were really important for him and his draft stock, because I think he would have tested very, very well. But he did get injured. He is going to come back. What are your thoughts on what he brings to the table to this wide receiver room coming back, for his extended time at Notre Dame?
It's similar to Lindsey to a degree, right? Because like Lindsey brings that speed element that just kind of is absent on the roster. I think Avery Davis kind of brings that maturity and that understanding of how to sit down against zone coverage and the dependability across the middle of the field. I don't think that you really have that guy that's a proven commodity. Like I think of Lorenzo Styles more as like that Z that you're going to, short motion, you're going to get him some maximized release points, separator in the middle, intermediate level of the field. And then he's got a little juice that can work down the seam at points. But I think that Avery Davis is that short separator, 3rd and 4. We have to have it. Guy that is dependable. And I don't think there's a lot of dependability on the wide receiver room right now. So a guy like him, I think, is huge. And then bringing along guys, because we keep talking about Lorenzo Styles, he's only going to be a sophomore next year. He's barely played, but he is just such a fun talent that I can't, I'm just really fascinated by him. But like bringing along guys, even though they play stylistically different, even though they play different wide receiver spots, having a guy like Avery Davis to groom guys like Deion Colsey continuing to move forward, guys like Lorenzo Styles to keep working with Braden Lindsey to hopefully have that last season breakout that we're going to be looking for. I think it's huge, and I think that the leadership more than anything is probably the biggest point. And I think that he's a very good, solid college football receiver that's dependable, and I think he's a quarterback's best friend. So I think that he brings a lot of value to a college football team for sure.
I think that throughout the season, when he was healthy, I thought he was one of the most dependable wide receivers out. And I will say wide receiver because obviously Michael Mayer, I think he trumps everybody as far as dependability is concerned. But from the wide receiver room, I think he was the most dependable guy that Notre Dame had. And when the ball went in his direction, I was pretty sure good things were going to happen, right? And there were many opportunities over the past couple of years where he was running wide open and the ball just didn't go his way, right? And so I was very happy, not happy that he got injured. I would never, ever, ever say that. But I'm happy that this is an injury, obviously, now in 2022, you can come back from and be just as strong as you were beforehand. And of course, I hope that for Avery Davis. I think he could just really do big things in this room and on the team and everything moving forward. I would love to see Lorenzo Styles be the starter at slot. I would, but guess what? You can have more than one slot on the field, and having Styles and Davis on the field at the same time, I think you can do a lot of fun things. And again, it could potentially open up the imagination of Tommy Rees and all the different things that you could do with those two guys, because I think those two could be really special.
Well, and I mean, I'm just having like dreams of like 3x1 sets with them both working inside and then putting Michael Mayer on the backside, like there's just so many possibilities when you have guys like Avery Davis and Braden Lindsey and Lorenzo Styles. Like I think that they have the ability to line up in different spots, which is a lot of possibilities and a lot of excitement potentially for a passing game.
No question about it. And of course, the leadership that he brings into the room as well is immeasurable. I mean, you could have seen a possibility of Lindsey, Austin, and Davis all leaving, and your true sophomores are now the leaders in that room.
Well, I mean, and it's not even for me, Vince. It's not even just the wide receiver room too, because if Patterson leaves now, like who's the old man on this offense? Like it's a bunch of sophomores, like you said. It's Andrew Kristofic if he wins a starting spot, who's a true junior going into his senior season, who hasn't played a ton of football.
And I think the same for Zeke Correll, right? I mean, he would be, I think he's going to be a fourth year. I think he'd be a senior academically. But again, he was a halftime starter this year and got replaced. And I mean, That's tough, right? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we have Michael Mayer and then a bunch of sophomores, pretty much as the lead dogs, in these varying rooms. Sophomore potential starting quarterback. So I think that leadership is something that people don't talk about enough. It's kind of undersold a little bit on teams, but I think that it's very important for a team. Again, breaking in a sophomore quarterback, you're gonna have a junior and sophomore running back. You're gonna have a bunch of sophomores at receiver playing a ton. You're gonna have Braden Lindsay mixed in. Obviously, having a guy like Avery Davis is immeasurable, honestly.
Yeah. No, completely agree with that as well.